Aksumite Empire was an important military power and trading nation in the area which is now Eritrea and northern Ethiopia, existing from approximately 100,940 in the Christian era. At its height, it was one of only 4 major international superpowers of its day along with Persia, Rome and China. Aksum controlled northern Ethiopia, Eritrea, northern Sudan, southern Egypt, Djibouti, western Yemen, and southern Saudi Arabia, totaling 1.25 million square kilometers. This is almost half the size of India. Aksum traded and projected its influence as far as China and India, where coins minted in Aksum were discovered in 1990. Aksum was previously thought to have been founded by Semitic-speaking Sabaeans who crossed the Red Sea from South Arabia, modern Yemen, on the basis of Conti Rossini's theories, but most scholars now agree that when it was founded it was an indigenous African development. According to historians, GDRT was most likely the first Aksumite king to be involved in South Arabian affairs, as well as the first known king to be mentioned in South Arabian inscriptions. His reign resulted in the control of much of western Yemen, such as the Timur, Najd, Fire, Afar, until 230 before Christ, and parts of Hashid territory around Hamir in the northern highlands. His involvement would mark the beginning of centuries of Aksumite involvement in South Arabia, culminating with the full-scale invasion of Yemen by King Ghalib in the year 520 before Christ of an Aksumite province covering all of South Arabia. The ancient Sabaean kingdom established power in the early 1st millennium before Christ. It was conquered in the 1st century before Christ by the Amorites. After the disintegration of the first Himmerite kingdom of the kings of Suba and Dahraden, the Middle Sabaean kingdom reappeared. In the early 2nd century, the Sabaean kingdom was finally conquered by the Amorites in the late 3rd century. At that time the capital was Marib. The Sabaean kingdom was a part of Yemeni province dominated by Aksum. The South Arabian kingdom of Himyar and Hadramaut. As early as the 1st quarter of the 3rd century, the Aksumite Empire invaded and captured the capital of the Arab kingdom of Himmerite. King of Aksum dispatched troops under his son, sending them from the western coast to occupy Tafar, the Amorite capital, as well as from the southern coast against Hadramaut. The invasion of Hadramaut was done in cooperation with the then king of Saba, dominion over Arab cities on the Red Sea by the early 4th century in the Christian era. King Zana reigned 325-60, controlled a domain extending from southeast Arabia across the Red Sea west to Meroe and south from Sarawak into the southern coast of the Gulf of Aden. Control he exercised. Zana, like other Aksumite rulers, carried the title Negus Nagast, King of Kings, symbolic of his rule over numerous tribute-paying principalities on both the African continent and Arabia. Zana dominated states on the Arabian Peninsula across the Red Sea, making them pay regular tribute to Aksum. Yemen around 517 in the Christian era. King Ghalib of the Aksum Empire sent his army across the Red Sea to invade and annex what is today called Yemen, on report that the Jewish king Yserthasarithar was persecuting Christians and Aksumites. Abraha, a general in the Aksumite army, was reported to have led the army of 100,000 men with hundreds of elephants to successfully crush all resistance of the Yemeni army. Yserthasarithar was killed in the battle and King Ghalib appointed a viceroy to rule in his place. The Amenid kingdom was then forced to pay tribute to the Aksum. The campaign against Mecca in the Christian era 570 according to Islamic sources, Aksumite general and ruler of Yemen, Abraha, invaded Mecca in 570 in the Christian era, the same year as the birth of Muhammad, the prophet of Islam. This attack took the form of a sort of religious crusade in which the Ethiopian Orthodox Aksumites planned to destroy the center of pagan Arabic religion. Some scholars believe the actual campaign occurred as much as a decade earlier than the date given by Islamic sources.